So let's talk about this new $1,344 figure and what it actually means for people on SSI, Supplemental Security Income. If you're one of the nearly 8 million people receiving SSI every month, this directly impacts you. Now, SSI is its own program. It's not the same as Social Security retirement. It's not SSDI, and it's not spousal benefits. It was designed specifically to help those with very limited income and resources, and the idea when it was created over 50 years ago was simple: keep people out of poverty. But here's the problem. Somewhere along the way, SSI drifted far from that goal. The program was supposed to keep benefits aligned with the federal poverty line, basically making sure that if you were on SSI, you weren't living below poverty. Fast forward to today, and the maximum SSI benefit for an individual is $967 a month. Sounds okay until you realize the federal poverty line for one person in 2025 is $16,134 a year, or about $1,344 a month. That's more than $300 higher than the current SSI maximum. In other words, benefits are sitting about 34% below where they were supposed to be. Think about that for a second. SSI was created as an anti-poverty program. Now it's become a poverty program because people on SSI are forced to live with hundreds of dollars less than what's recognized as the bare minimum needed to survive. And if you're already struggling on $800, $740, or even the maximum $967, you know exactly how hard it is to make ends meet. Rent, food, medications, it doesn't stretch far enough. This is why that $1,344 number is so important. If SSI benefits were raised to match the poverty line, as the program was originally intended, you'd instantly see a raise of over $300 a month. For a married couple, the increase would be even bigger, over $1,700 combined. That's life-changing money for people barely scraping by. This is why that $1,344 number is so important. If SSI benefits were raised to match the poverty line, as the program was originally intended, you'd instantly see a raise of over $300 a month. For a married couple, the increase would be even bigger, over $1,700 combined. That's life-changing money for people barely scraping by. There's actually legislation out there, like the SSI Restoration Act, that would fix this by raising SSI to the federal poverty line and making other needed changes. But here's the frustrating part: lawmakers have ignored this program for decades. It keeps getting pushed aside, forgotten about, and millions of people are left struggling. That's why I want to keep talking about it and keep drawing attention to these numbers. Because it wouldn't even cost that much, not compared to the federal budget. Just a few billion more a year to lift nearly 8 million people out of poverty. That's not just numbers, that's lives changed. So if you're on SSI, remember this: your benefits were meant to match the poverty line. You should be at $1,344 a month right now, not $967. That's the gap, that's the fight, and that's why it matters to keep this conversation alive. And of course, if you or someone you know is navigating Medicare, whether it's supplements, Advantage plans, or Part D coverage, there are resources out there to help you sort through the thousands of options and actually find the right fit for your needs without spending a dime for the guidance. But bringing it back to SSI, this is where we've got to keep the pressure on. Share this with anyone who depends on these benefits, because the more attention we bring to this, the harder it is for lawmakers to keep ignoring it. So stick with me, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's keep pushing for the change that millions of people desperately need. Because living in poverty was never what SSI was supposed to be about.